Good morning, gentlemen. I just wanted to make a quick video about something that happened to me last night when I was driving to work at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was being followed by a cop, and I'm sure it's a cop because when I seen him turn off finally, I seen the side of his car finally, and I knew it was a cop because I was going the speed limit. I assume everybody that gets behind me at night, especially when they speed up on me and then stop and slow down right behind me, and follow me, I just assume that's always a cop because the cops always do the same exact thing, and they always give themselves away. But at night, you got to be careful because you got to think most people are sleeping, and there's just as many cops out on the road at night as there are on the daytime, except there's less people traveling because most people don't work at night, especially graveyard shifts like I work. So I always make sure I'm driving sober when I go to work at night. But yeah, whenever somebody speeds up from like 70 miles per hour and like a 35, and they race up behind you and then they slow down and just tail you, when there's other lanes they could just go right past you. Whenever a vehicle does that to you, I assume that's a cop immediately, and most of the time it is. And that's what happened to me last night when I was driving to work. So at night, I only drive the speed limit, and I always use my turn signals, and I'm always sober, and I'm always just following the rules as best as I can. So I was really worried about getting pulled over, but I don't even know why I was worried. I wasn't breaking any rules, but that's just, I want to give you guys some tips on how you know when the police are behind you. And always keep in mind that when you're driving at night, you can't see what kind of car is behind you. All you see is headlights, and usually it's a dark vehicle, but that could be anybody. But I just assume at nighttime it's going to be a cop that's behind me. You know, even if it's not. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I'm wrong and it's not a police officer. It's just some jerk that's just getting right behind me and following me and kind of probably trying to get my nerves. But yeah, don't break the rules at night, guys. When you drive, just assume it's a cop. And also don't ever change lanes. Don't ever try to get out of a cop's way because they see that as evasive, and that's another reason they're going to pull you. They're thinking you're trying to get away from them. They're thinking you're trying to get out of their way. They think you're uncomfortable with them behind you. As long as you can show that you're comfortable with them behind you, then most of the time you'll drive off and you won't get pulled. But they don't even really need a reason to pull you over. So if you start switching lanes or trying to get away from them, they're like, oh, this guy's got something to hide, you know, and then that'll be the reason why they pull you over. But they won't tell you that when they pull you over. And then a last tip I want to give is when you get pulled over, immediately have your car insurance, have your license out, turn on your cabin light so they can see what you're doing in the car because they're scared as fuck. I mean, they think you might have a gun or something, so always be ready for them to approach. And when they do approach, be nice, be professional with them, hand them your information, and most of the time they'll just grab it. They won't even say anything to you. They'll just say, okay, thanks, and they'll go back to their car, and they'll come back a couple minutes later and let you go if you're not breaking the law. But if you are breaking the law, if you are speeding, you should say, hey, sir, I'm sorry. I'm messing up, man. You know, I'm stressed out, had a long day. I was speeding, and dude, I'm sorry. I will slow down, and thank you for your service and all that kind of stuff, and most of the time they'll let you go. As long as you're not breaking any kind of laws. But they're just trying to do their job, man. Peace officers have a hard job, and they're just, you know, they don't want to really fuck with you most of the time, man. But they will target you sometimes. But that's ways you can avoid getting caught slipping, man. It's just when you drive at night, just assume if somebody gets behind you and stays behind you and there's other lanes so they could go around you, just assume that's a cop, man, because they're working, and that's how they get promoted. The more tickets they write, that's, you know, the faster their career is going to go uphill. So, you know, don't give them a reason because they don't need one anyways. All right, guys, that's all I got. I don't hate cops. They're great. We need them to have a civilized society, but you really don't want to mess with them. And also, if they do take you out of the car, if they do cuff you, if they do any of that shit, don't fight it and do not resist. You're just going to make things worse. The time to fight that stuff is in court, and you never know. They might lose the evidence or something, so don't ever resist like a police officer or a peace officer. Don't ever resist. If you know, no matter how innocent you are, because it happened to me one time. I got a DUI, and I was innocent, and I knew I was, and they didn't read me my rights and all that stuff. And then later on, I went to court, and they dropped the case, man. I was arrested. I was caught up in a sting, and they were just fudging the numbers. And so, yeah, don't fight it on the spot. If they're going to arrest you, if they decide they're going to arrest you, they're going to arrest you. And the only thing you can do is make it worse by not go down. So if they're trying to take you down, go down. Take the ride and then fight it later. Get a lawyer if you can. All right, guys. Peace.